The local butcher fed a man to the alligators behind the bayou at my dad's house.
That is today's topic. This is Dirty Deeds, the Dark Side of Real Estate podcast.
Contracts in the shadows, deals behind closed doors, money on the table, someone keeping score, foreclosures and mansions, secrets buried deep. Welcome to the stories the agents never keep.
All right, well, we are super excited. I am Genny Williams, and
I am Kylie Moberg.
And we're super excited to kick this off. This is episode 1 of the Dirty Deeds, the Darker Side of Real Estate podcast, or the Dark Side of Real Estate podcast. And you're going to have to give us just a minute before we get the title right every single time. But before we get into this very interesting conversation, because this is a doozy, and this is something that I personally experienced. We need to take care of all that legal stuff. Because that's the world that we live in today. So I'm going to read this disclaimer to you so everybody is on the same page. The Dirty Deeds podcast discusses real estate stories involving fraud, scams, agent safety issues, perverts, stigmatized properties, and unusual alleged events and things I've personally seen associated with certain homes or transactions. The information shared in this podcast is based on publicly available records, my personal experience, industry experiences, or stories submitted by listeners. Some details may be altered or generalized to protect privacy. Any references to individuals, companies, or properties are presented by informational and educational purposes only. Allegations of criminal activity or misconduct referenced in this podcast are based on publicly reported information and should not be interpreted as definitive statements of fact unless confirmed by a court of law, which we're going to share those things with you. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and do not constitute legal, investigative, or professional conclusions. Listeners should not rely on this podcast as a substitute for legal advice, official records, or professional real estate guidance, except you could do that one because I am highly qualified and experienced real estate agent. So if you believe information discussed in this podcast is inaccurate or misrepresented, please contact us so that we can review and address that matter appropriately. So all the legalities are now out of the way. You know exactly what to expect. Let's just dig into our story, okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, so again, I'm Genny Williams, and Kylie and I have we do have a passion for true crime situations, and Kylie had been looking for a house, and I had just been sharing these just bizarre stories with her here and there, and she's like, oh my God, the things that go on. And so I've had this idea for a long time to, bring these stories to the public. I mean, there is so much that goes on behind the scene. It's not something that we want to go out there and go, oh my God, somebody was murdered here. Right. We just can't wait for you to buy this house. It's not really something that you're going to see in a listing description, right?
No.
So a lot of those stories, even though the public knows what's going on, but a lot of that stuff is we have to keep quiet.
Right.
And when I was sharing with you and just the feedback and the fun that we just got all, excited discussing,
Yes.
like, okay, I have found my partner in this situation. So, Kylie has lived through the home buying experience twice
With you,
with
yeah,
me,
yes.
and the home selling, which is fun.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so she knows enough about that world to be a little bit dangerous, and she's
Yes.
great at research and details. So I'm going to share like the stories with you, and she's going to get into like the details and just make it way more interesting and factual. So I'm so glad and appreciate all your skill sets.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I shared with you, like, for whatever reason, just so many years, I felt like I was the wrongful death realtor.
Yeah.
If it was haunted, if there was a murder, suicide, rape there, then I was your girl. I have sold so many stigmatized properties, and, I don't take that lightly.
Right.
There is a certain way that you have to sell those properties, and one comes from a lot of respect. You have to respect the parties that were involved there and respect the wishes of the people that are interested in it.
Right.
But here's one
Right.
thing that, I find fascinating
Okay.
is that people love a story.
Oh, 100%.
They want to buy the story.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Some of the stuff that we're going to share that, and some of the stuff is in Mississippi where the story that we're sharing today, because I sold there for 5 years. And my dad's been a real estate agent since I was born. So long history of this. It's just he doesn't have these kind of stories like I do. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And the more that we had talked about it, and you're just like, oh, yeah, one time this happened to me. Da, da, da. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. But you said it so nonchalant because for you, that was like a normal day's work. And I was like, what? What? And you're like, yeah. And then just story after story kept coming up. And it intrigued me thoroughly.
Well, and we're going to be totally focused on true crime within, and other stuff, right? Because there are a lot of perverts out there. I've shared that with you as well. And real estate agents are such the target of perverts. And if you are a pervert, do not call me, okay?
Gosh. Well, don't call me either. But
Ladies and gentlemen, Genny Williams will always tell you like it is. I'm the producer, by the way. I'm Philip. So if you hear me chime in, it's either because they said something they shouldn't have,
or you need to clarify a little bit.
We're going to clarify. So yeah.
Yeah, and to what Genny was saying, of course, probably, I don't know, 90% maybe, I don't know, I just made that stat up. But crimes happen in homes, obviously. Right. And it's not just things we're going to cover like, oh no, someone was murdered inside of a home. Okay, no, but it's going to be more in depth, more about real estate and the agents and the fraud, and hit a little deeper with details, not just basic, there was a crime in a house in Indiana. No, it's good.
Right.
It's good. The details are
people
good.
live, right, in their homes. That's where the majority of their experiences are, unless they're,
Right.
Carpooling 2 hours a day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But, I get the question asked a lot, and it is important to people, like, has anybody died in this house?
Yeah.
And we actually don't have to disclose stuff like that. So it's very important if you have that concern to ask that question, because we don't have to disclose it unless asked. But my answer to that is always, gosh, I hope so. Because don't you want to die at home?
I mean,
and we love Philip, by the way.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm weird. Like, I'm really weird. But I'll be like, no, I don't want to die in my house. I want to die like in a hospital or something.
Well, and that's like the next question.
Yes,
some people may want to do that.
Yes,
so
and
if
that's
it
totally
is,
fine.
if it is important to you, like definitely ask that question, so
right.
that some people don't know. But then you've got these stories that we're going to share with you today. Oh my goodness! Let me just tell you that everybody in Pascagoula, Moss Point, and surrounding areas of Mississippi, everybody knew this story.
Oh boy.
And my dad happened to buy the house. So we got to advertise it. And Kylie, when I tell you that, this was back in the day where we would, put all the houses in a little home book and people would pick up the home book. This was pre-internet.
Okay.
And this was what, 96?
96 was the year that the crime. Yes.
So my dad probably bought it from the bank. And this is what happens, right? Like, those sirens actually are going along great with it.
Yes, I don't know if y'all
You're
can pick
welcome.
up on
Only
it,
the
but-
best production studios here have sirens in the background.
Yeah, and actually, when I pulled up to the studio, there was a cop car sitting outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Cool, all right, this is what we're doing today."
And we
Protected.
also need to let
Right.
everybody know what's today's date.
Friday the 13th.
Yes,
It's a sign.
It's so
Yes.
appropriate for this to be our very first episode. And this story really is outrageous, and it's true. And the title really explains it all.
Right, right.
So after a crime happens, a lot of time when the bank takes it over, because sometimes a family member will come and take the property over, but most of the time they're not paid for, right?
Okay.
So nobody wants to touch this terrible story.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is the local bank, and my dad has bought lots of houses from this bank. We did a ton of business. Whenever I went to this bank in Pascagoula and I said, "Hey, who is your number one person that does loans with you and mortgages?" And they had to think hard about it, and they're like, "You do."
Oh.
And I said, "Okay."
All right.
Well, and the only reason I'm sharing that part of it is we had a fantastic relationship, and Dad had an even longer relationship than I did. We did a lot of business together, so they would call Dad for a lot of their foreclosures and say, "This happened in the house. Do you want to buy it?" And at the time,
Okay.
Dad would say, "Well, I need 0% interest for
Right,
this a long
right.
time, right? If you're giving me something like this, and we're about to tell you all what this is, then
Name what you want.
yes, I need to buy it for this lower price. I need no interest, and I'm going to need some money to fix this thing up,
Right. Right.
because you can imagine what a crime scene looks like."
Now, I'm not going to name the company that I work for, but my only history and experience with anything like this is the company that I work for is a restoration company, and we call them bio jobs. So if there's anything to do with blood at all, it's a bio job. We have to take before, during, and after photos. I've seen photos where we have to wear like the hazmat suit and everything. We're going in with an ozone machine because the smell of death does not come out easily. So our team goes in and restores the home to clean them with bio jobs. Because even if someone's just passed away in their sleep, there's still stuff that you have to do to restore your home.
You're right. And
Yeah.
speaking of a bio job, and it's funny that you bring that up because we had a rental house in Mississippi for a long time, and our tenant, we just loved him so much. He was part of the family. Well, he had AIDS, and he bled everywhere and bled all over the house. And this was early on in the AIDS epidemic that we just didn't know. Everybody was
Right.
so fearful. Everybody just wouldn't touch anybody that had it, and we really just didn't know what to do. So we hired we recommended a bio team, and they came in and took everything out in their hazmat suits and just, got rid of everything in that house.
Yeah, you have to restore the home. It can't just sit there, and for whatever reason, if the family does want to continue living in it or sell it or whatever it may be. But my question to you would be, in this instance or instances like this, if the home was on a mortgage owned through a bank, the person that was on the loan goes to jail. They clearly cannot pay the mortgage. Is that considered a foreclosure?
Yes.
Just automatically? What about if there's a death certificate? How does that work? Does family inherit the home, like next of kin?
If there is a death certificate, like if the owner was killed, then it will have to go through probate. And that will be based on if there was a will or not a will. And then normally the judge will decide on the heirs and who gets that. but
Okay.
Mostly, and sometimes family members will step up and negotiate things
Yeah,
out with
yeah.
the bank.
Yeah.
And all these little stories are coming up in my head
Yeah.
now of like when each one of these things has happened.
Right,
But
right.
this situation was a little different, right? Like
Right.
the man who committed the crime there was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
He confessed, and you're going to share some of that with us. And so it went to foreclosure, and so the bank got it back.
Okay,
essentially.
okay.
And what they did is call my dad, and Dad negotiated his terms, and then we had an awesome house to sell.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was very famous in town,
Yeah.
and it was located on Gregory Street in Moss Point, and it was in the Creole section. A lot of people that lived in that area used to work at the paper mill before it was closed down, and when it was closed down, it kind of became a little bit of a ghost town. But so whenever we put these ads in the home books, right, and people would pick up these home books and they would look through and they would, oh, that one looks interesting, that one looks interesting. People would call, and for whatever reason, I was always the one who answered the phone. Our little real estate office was Dad, my Aunt Pat, his sister, and me.
Okay.
And my children, of course, when they were born, my daughter was born in 97, so the baby was always there.
That's fresh.
Yes.
Yes, that's fresh at that time because this crime was 96.
Yes. And so we had just gotten the house in 97, right? Because it takes all that time to go through
Right,
foreclosure.
right.
And so we'd have a picture of it, and, Dad had done some work to it and fixed it up. The bank actually had to do the crime scene cleanup.
Yeah, yeah.
So people would call, and they'd say, "Where is that located?" And I'm like, "Well, if you go down this road and you turn here and you turn there," and they're like, "Is that the?" Yep, click. I mean, that was every single phone call I got.
Oh my goodness.
People knew.
The PR.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
PR.
everybody knew, and so this is a
gosh.
challenge when you're talking about stigmatized properties. You might as well just put it out there because everybody knows anyway.
Yeah, don't hide it.
Right, and even though when I'm just giving an address, right, and trying to give directions, and this was before also GPS, y'all. I mean, this
Right.
was when an agent had to say, "Now turn left on this street, turn right at that stop sign."
Yeah, there wasn't even like MapQuest or anything.
Exactly.
Like you got the old Pirates map out of the glove box, you know?
We used to have these old county maps. You know,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, here's a section of this county."
Oh, yeah.
But just telling directions, people would go, "Is that? Yeah." They didn't want any part of
Did
this.
they just okay, so that was gonna be my next question. Like they saw the listing and they were like, oh no, it's that house, never mind? Or was it, oh, can you confirm that this is the house so I can go look at it because I'm kind of obsessed with it? Or was it a mixture of both?
I think it was so famous before we got it that people were already going by to do the
Just
checkout.
to look at it and drive by and
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's like when you've got your kids in the car at Christmas, you know, and you're like, oh, this house is just known for the Christmas lights.
Yes.
Let's just drive by it.
Exactly.
But I would want to drive by it and be like, oh, this is the murder house. I wonder if the alligators are still out back. Like,
I know, right? Like the story just gives you so much imagination. And the
Yes.
issue is though, is that these are facts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so bizarre. So if you want to like give us the general idea, like getting into
Okay.
like the story
Okay.
of what happened, then I'll just share like what my personal perspective and part of the story is.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a man named Gary Simmons Jr. who lives in Moss Point, Mississippi, and he is somehow affiliated with drugs in some form or aspect. He had a drug debt between $12,000 and $20,000, in which now, even in 2026, I think that's a lot of money. But in 1996, that had to be like
lot of money.
a lot of money for drugs.
Right.
But anyways, I don't know if he was selling, if he was buying for himself. I am not sure. But he had a very large drug debt that he could not pay. So 2 people from Houston, Texas, Jefferey and Brook, they are boyfriend and girlfriend. They're young, 21 and 18 years old, decide to, Brooke is just the girlfriend, just kind of young and naive, and she just started dating her boyfriend. He said, I've got a business trip in Moss Point, Mississippi. Won't you join me? She's like, of course I will. So she just gets in the car with her new boyfriend and goes to Moss Point, Mississippi. They get there to Moss Point. Gary is sitting in the dark on his front porch with no lights on, nothing, just sitting in the dark. She said, thought that was kind of weird, but whatever. He obviously knew we were coming. And so she goes into the house. Her boyfriend, Jeffrey, and Gary start talking. She thought it was just those three in the house, herself, her boyfriend, and Gary. She could hear them talking but didn't really pay attention to what was going on. And within a few minutes, she heard gunshots, and she immediately, of course, panics and runs into the room that they're in, and there was another man there that she didn't know was even there at all. His name was Timothy. And, of course, he was there with Gary. So Timothy shot her boyfriend 9 times. 9. Not just once, like self-defense.
Terrifying.
9 times. Is that like a whole mag? I feel like that's a whole mag.
I'm not a gun expert.
I'm not either. But I feel like that's a whole mag.
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is for real. But anyway, I'll have to check mine. But I'm just kidding. But of course, she starts panicking because 9 gunshots just went off, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Well, then the guys that she's at their home start panicking. Eventually, they basically get her and hog-tie her. And I'll just be really honest, I was born and raised in Alabama, so I don't know outside of the South if anybody knows what it is to be hog-tied. But
Oh, good. That's a good.
not to be like too much, but it's basically your hands and feet are all tied together.
Right.
And it's very, very difficult to get out of that, to even breathe in some situations. I've never experienced that, thankfully, but it's very traumatic for your arms, both, hands and feet to be bound together. Sometimes you are face up, sometimes you're face down. It depends. But they hog-tied her, and they told her, you are going to be assaulted. You are going to be raped. And depending on your performance will depend on if you live or die. And I am not judging her at all. She had to do what she had to do to survive.
I know. I
She was
just every
18
time
years old.
every time I think about her, I just all these years,
Mm-hmm.
it gets me what she had to go
at
through.
18, no. But she did what she had to do to survive. So, Gary Simmons did rape her, and then he put her in a box, a large box or a footlocker, and eventually she fell asleep. But in my opinion, again, never been in this situation, but in my opinion, if drugs were already involved, she may have been drugged because she fell asleep, didn't know, how long she'd been asleep, what was going on, what she had no idea. But her body may have just shut down to disassociate, and I can't imagine. But while she was in the box, the 2 men decided, we got to get rid of the body. Got to do something. So Gary Simmons was a butcher at a local
Right.
place.
I used to see him at this grocery store.
He's a local butcher, so he
Right.
had some sort of great collection and assortment of knives, and they were very sharp. They cut up this man's body into 88 pieces.
I think the last one I read was 108.
108.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, when you read these stories online, there are like different facts for these, and it's like each story is a little bit different. But that 108 just like plagued my head.
Yeah, you'd already shot him 9 times.
Right. Like, we're a little obsessive here.
Yeah, 9 times.
Wow.
And then you chop him up into pieces. But I don't know the exact layout of the house. This is where you would be able to tell a lot more. But pretty close to the home that they were in, somewhat in the backyard or walking distance, there was a bayou area that had alligators in it. And so they threw the body parts into the bayou for the alligator.
Right.
Which
Which actually is quite genius. If you think about, if you,
I mean, they're going to eat it.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about how disgusting this is, but that's a clever way.
Oh yeah.
My
Get rid
mother-
of the evidence.
Right. My mother and my stepdad live in Moss Point, and they live on a bayou, a peninsula on 2 bayous, really. And they have alligators in their backyard, like crazy, and like makes me think about Gary all the time.
Well, yeah, of course, of course. But the 2 guys, they just threw the body parts back there to get rid of them. But they did slip up. That's where they messed up. They had left, I'm wanting to say I read an axe for sure, but I'm pretty sure I read also a knife as well.
Yeah.
That they left.
Well, they did this in the bathtub.
Yes, they cut up the body parts in the bathtub of the home.
Right.
And then took it out. And then there was a boat close by, like a little bitty boat, not like a motorboat, just a little boat close by. And they were assuming because they found a lot of blood in the boat, and they found an axe laying there. So they messed that up right there. But they got rid of the body with the alligators, but did leave the axe and blood there.
I do think they were able to discover, I think, some body parts is what I remember in the bayou. But
Yeah.
it's just really horrific, especially because our little town of Pascagoula, which Moss Point is right next to Pascagoula, it's 27,000 people at the time that I lived there. So, if you go into a grocery store, you're going to remember the people that you see there all the time.
Yes.
So many of us shop there, and it's not their fault. It's just, do you become desensitized because that's your job? Do you So, a little bit of background even from this is one of my really close friends at the time, we had built a house for her and known her. One of her sisters was one of my best friends growing up. She worked for DHR and, or is it DHS? Which one?
I think it's DHR.
In Alabama, it's
Department of Human
DHR,
Resources.
yes. But CPS, Child Protective Services, but Department of Human Resources.
Okay.
But some states have DHR and some states have CPS. So I don't know.
She was visiting him and the house because of complaints about the stepchildren. And I'm guessing they must have had some issues. And it could have been abuse there, drugs, I mean, it sounds like he was doing drugs. I really hope that he was on a lot of drugs to do something like this.
Yeah, he was not in his right mind.
Right.
Like, oh, my goodness. No.
But she had visited over and over there. And so it just, knowing all the people behind the scenes and the players, I mean, it just becomes personal for me in a situation like this, especially when we're, selling the house to somebody else. But, so, but let's, tell us more about what happened.
So while Brooke is in this box, sleeping, they are chopping up the body into several pieces, feeding it to the alligators, and cleaning the house. I don't know what they cleaned the house with, but I would imagine it was quite extensive to clean a bathroom or a home, because if they shot him 9 times, that's going to be a mess. Then they went and cut him up in the bathtub. Like, that's, oh, goodness, I can't.
I know,
but,
right?
But talk about a bio job. Like, that would have been
Right.
like a lot.
Yes.
But while they're cleaning up and everything, Brooke is still in the box. Eventually, she wakes up. And from what I have read, the timeline was about a day later, like the following day. She wakes up and she tries to get, of course, out of the box, tries to get out of her ties. And because she's bound and she's hogtied, she does get free. She somehow gets free. She gets out of the box, out of her ties. She isn't fully clothed, and so that's just a whole other thing. But she knew her boyfriend had been killed. I mean, come on, you don't care what you look like.
No,
like,
you
you just
don't.
run for your life. But she's found out when she got out of the box, she was the only one in the home. And she said the home was spotless, immaculate. So whatever they did, they cleaned the home. So she just takes off running. She runs across the street to a neighbor's house, beats on the door. As she's running across the street, though, she sees Gary Simmons Jr. coming back. She
It's
sees
really
him
like-
in his car.
It's really like a horror film.
Yes.
I've tried to put myself in her position so many times throughout the years, and because getting out, let's think about her in this trunk.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but
Right.
think about her in this trunk and her clawing and scratching to get out of there. I can just see her, if she can get her feet, kicking as much as she could.
Yeah.
And getting out of that, then getting out of the closet that they put her in, and not having any clothes on, and from the kicking and the,
Yes.
she's probably bruised, she's bloody.
Yeah.
And can you imagine that ringing my doorbell?
No. And this was 96. There was no Ring doorbell camera. Like, you couldn't speak to her and be like, what are you doing? Like, oh my goodness, I cannot imagine. But thankfully, she physically got out, got away from that house. She is running away. She sees Gary Simmons coming back in his car. I cannot imagine seeing him coming back. Oh my goodness. So she gets to the neighbor's house. She sees him coming back. She eventually gets inside the neighbor's home. The neighbors let her in. They call the police. And of course, by the time they call the police, Gary is gone. He of course probably went back inside and saw that Brooke had escaped. So then he panics again. And turns out he fled to Mobile, Alabama. So we are about 4 hours north of Mobile. My husband grew up in Mobile. We lived there for several years. So I'm familiar with the area, but, they called the police. They got her taken care of. They got her medical attention. Overall, she was okay. Thankfully, there was nothing permanent other than mental and emotional.
Yeah, can you imagine being traumatized.
Right. But she was overall okay. And Gary fled to Mobile. He goes to the mall. Now, in Mobile, there's only 2 malls. Two.
They're right across the street from each other.
They are. And one mall is like a true classic mall. Like, you go inside and all the stores are inside. And, there's big department stores, there's little boutiques, there's a food court. But then there's another mall across the street that is more of an outdoor, more of a plaza.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Two
really...
total different feels.
Yeah. And it really doesn't matter which one he went to. It doesn't matter. But it's just like, oh my goodness, I've been there.
Right.
I cannot believe he fled there, and this was his thought process.
Well, so for us, living not far from where he did, Mobile was our big city. Mobile was our civilization. You could get lost in Mobile, even though Mobile's really small, right? With us living here in Birmingham and just the difference of that. But and even Birmingham is not that big. But what I love about Birmingham is that it really is a big, small town. But Mobile was the big city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially at that time.
Yeah. So, like you said, I hope he was on drugs, because I cannot imagine what his mental state truly was. But he goes to Mobile, goes to one of these malls, and goes into a department store. And it looks like, I can show you guys the video, it looks like one of the classic 1990s backgrounds. Like, you used to go to like Kmart or JCPenney and get your picture made with like your brother and your sister, and you're just like putting your hands on your shoulder.
A
like,
little Owen Mills, but
yes.
The upgrade from that.
Yes. So he records himself there, and he confesses to essentially to what happened, what he did. And he addressed a woman named Lori, and he said, "Lori, I'm sorry. It was not supposed to go like this."
Hello, Lori. I guess it's a real mess, isn't it? It wasn't supposed to go like that. I don't know what to tell you. I never think about the consequences of what I do until after it's done. But that's what happens when you cross the line. You pay for it. I guess it's time. I love you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for everything.
That's his ex-wife.
Yep. He said, "I'm sorry for everything that I've done to you. I'm sorry this happened. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry." He then somehow gets that recording, probably VHS, because,
Well, it just makes me think. I mean, let's think about JCPenney's. Mm-hmm. There's somebody that works that department.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
Could you imagine be the person who was recording that?
No.
I mean, Philip?
No.
So, yeah,
No.
that's kind of strange.
Yeah.
In my video business many years ago, everybody was bringing us their old VHS tapes to transfer
Convert,
digitally
yeah.
into DVDs,
Right.
and there were some interesting videotapes that came through my office.
I'm sure probably things that
Things that
could
I'm like,
be on
I
the
don't.
show later.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know that they probably wanted me watching this, so I could imagine that.
No, I've
I
always
did say perverts were part of this.
Yes.
Yes, because back in the day we had our cameras, disposable cameras, and film. Like, you just had to go drop it off at Walmart or wherever and get it developed, and then a week later you're like, "Oh, let me see what I did." Can you imagine the people that have to develop those? Oh my goodness! But he goes to a store of some sort in Mobile and addresses a woman named Lori. Lori was his wife, estranged wife. So this was in 1996. I do believe they got married in about 1990. And her story about their marriage is just so sad. It is so sad. But Lori marries Gary, and she had 2 children of her own. She meets him at her child's daycare in Moss Point. He's the groundskeeper there. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being a groundskeeper. Nothing at all. But for some reason, it just gave me the ick. And I was like, yeah, he was the groundskeeper.
At a daycare.
Oh,
Is there more to the
yes.
story that we don't know?
Yes. And I was like, goodness.
Right.
Anyway, she met him.
And obviously, it's his second job. 'Cause
Yeah, because he was a butcher. And he probably preyed on a single mom that just needed a man to take care of her and her children, and just needed a companion. I mean, he probably watched her every day get her kids out of the car, possibly struggling, get back in the car, go to her job, pick her kids back up at the end of the day. That's just exhausting to do anyway. Right. But that's how they met. Eventually, they get married. Lori, has done a couple interviews and things like that. And, of course, she got to know Gary as they were dating and everything. One of Gary's hobbies was writing short stories.
I didn't know this.
Short stories. So she thought, okay, cool, but that's fine. One day she found his short stories, and they were all rape fantasies.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I just knew there was and my friend who actually had to go interview and check on the family and all that stuff, you can't tell personal information.
Right.
Like that's it's her job to keep all of that personal. But she would just always say that it was very bizarre.
Yes.
And they had to keep a close eye on. And this was only a 6-year time period.
Right. Overall, that's not that long. That's so crazy. But all of his stories were about torture and sexual fantasy of some capacity.
All I keep thinking is Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes. So she finds the stories and she confronts him about it. And he's like, that's just a hobby. Like, it's just something that I like to write about. Leave it alone. Mind your business. Leave it alone. So she does. She leaves it alone. But then, they get married. They're out of their honeymoon phase. And he does start reenacting these stories with her. Anytime she would tell him no in the bedroom, he would force her to lay with him. He would rape her. And then, back then it was in the 90s. There's no Google. There's no women's advocacy centers like on every corner. There's not the resources that we have now. But she was a young mom, naive, and she said, he told me this and I believed him. I truly thought that's not rape because we're married. So that wasn't rape. But, I mean, it clearly was.
Right.
She said no, and that's when he would rape her. But she didn't have these resources. She just thought, this is my life now. And at one point, they had a child. And, after you have a child, you have to wait 5 or 6 weeks, before you have any sort of sexual interactions. He wouldn't wait. At that point, when she told him no, that's when he got the knives out. And she said sometimes that she just laid there in complete fear and was just super, super still. And sometimes she would squirm. But she found out if she laid still and just tensed up and went through it, he said, this isn't fun anymore. He wanted to watch her squirm.
That's sick. Mm-hmm. Well, we knew he was sick.
Yes.
But
yes.
Yeah, so I didn't know this part of it, and that's what I love about these conversations is that you're digging deep on another end. Like, I only know what I went through with my personal side of it, and some of the stuff that, me personally, I don't know what's rumors, and I don't know, what was factual. I know and we have that disclaimer.
Right. Yes.
But I had heard over and over that the lady across the street where, Brooke had ran to knock on the door. And, of course, you can imagine bloody, naked at your door and just, hysterical.
Yeah.
You're not coming to my house,
No.
right? I don't know what went on. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know who's chasing you, and you're bringing that into my home.
Right.
Like, no.
So the stories I've heard is that they wouldn't let her in for a long time. Mm-hmm. They called 911.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the police came, so I don't know how long she had to sit out there before they did let her come in, but I did hear that a good bit. And I understand both sides.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
please help me. And you're like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. No.
So,
No.
terrified.
Yes,
And then you're just
absolutely.
across the street from where all of this happened. And she really didn't even know the rest of what had happened yet.
Right. She knew at that point, her boyfriend had been shot and killed, but, the blood was gone. She just woke up and everything was just back to normal.
Right.
Like, that's weird. That's really weird. But back to Lori and their marriage. At one point, she finally, she's had enough. She does not care. She consulted some different people, attorneys, and just the courthouse, different people to try to get a divorce. I found this out. This was a new law, new to me. But in 1996 in Mississippi, if you wanted a divorce and you were a female, if you were pregnant, you were not allowed to get a divorce.
I didn't know that either.
She went to go file for divorce, and they said, okay, take a pregnancy test. And she was like, what? She took a pregnancy test, and that day found out she was pregnant.
Oh, my God, bless her.
And they would not let her leave her husband. So she had to stay another year.
Wow.
She had to stay another year. And she does what she has to do. because they denied the divorce. She eventually found an association somewhere in Mississippi. It was a domestic violence association. And after she had her baby, and they said about the time that she went to get the divorce, from the time she was actually able to leave was about a year. But this domestic violence association helped her find an apartment and helped her get out, and then helped her try to get things squared away with just leaving Gary in general. But a little bit of a twist, she has a brother. Lori has a brother named Timothy. She calls her brother, hey, I left him, but can you help me? I'm a single mom, I've got these 2 kids. At that point she had like 4 kids, I do believe is what it was. But she had multiple kids. And her brother comes, helps her out, moves in, just being a good brother. Just being a good sibling. Gary found out that her brother, Timothy, moved in and helped her out. He then confronted her brother, and he said, I owe a lot of drug money. I have to kill these people. And if you don't help me kill them, I'm going to kill Lori and the kids in front of you. So what does the brother do? He goes to Gary's. He kills these people. And he helps chop them up, do whatever they got to do. And it was Lori's brother that shot the 21-year-old, and that was an accomplice to Gary. And Lori found out when she watched the video and saw that her brother was involved with her crazy ex-husband. But her brother, she truly believes that her brother did that to help save her, and his nieces and nephews.
Right.
Because Gary was clearly crazy. Clearly. And, I can't say what I would or wouldn't do in that situation, but I would do whatever I could to keep my siblings and nieces and nephews from being murdered by a psychopath. Like that.
It's terrible.
Yes. So, that was basically the crime. And Lori did say she didn't know that Gary and Timothy were like in cahoots at all. Like she didn't know.
It was a shock.
Gary had come to him privately. I don't know how, but he reached out privately and did that. Because I bet Lori, if she knew that Gary were coming around, she would have called the cops.
Right.
So he knew what he was doing there, sneaking around.
I would just feel that Gary's a pretty private dude anyway.
He has reason to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
don't want his
not a whole
business
lot of
out
friends,
there.
yeah.
Does not want his business out there.
And this house was, it was on, I think, 2 acres, a couple acres bayou. So, not, not neighborly.
Right. A little
Kind
bit
of
of
wanted his
privacy.
own space out there.
Right. A little bit of privacy out there.
Yeah.
So it's very shocking for, of course, all involved. I know he's clearly not innocent. He shot a man 9 times, not just once, but he shot a man 9 times. But for someone to knock on the door and be like, hey, you're going to do this, or I'm going to kill everybody around you, that's a shock. Right. For Lori, who, that's the father of your children. You shared a life with that man for years.
I would think he'd have more options than this. And
yeah.
He'd have to be very convincing.
Yeah.
Is
for me just to get in a vehicle
right.
and go with a man
and go, oh,
all
you're
right.
Okay, I'm gonna
let me just kill him 9 times or shoot him 9 times. That's
right.
fine. I'll do what I gotta do. We're gonna chop him up. Okay, all right. I don't know. But they basically, from what I understand, Gary ended up turning himself in. And when and where he turned himself in was just blocks away from Lori's apartment that she had. So he turned himself in. He had that confession video that he had mailed to her, and Brooke had escaped. So there was a witness there. So Lori's brother and Gary, they both go to jail. It was like a 3-day trial, I do believe. It wasn't long at all, and it was pretty cut and dry. He did they both did this. there was a witness and they didn't deny it. The brother, Timothy, he was sentenced to life plus 30 years. Because technically life for murder, but kidnapping of Brook was 30 years. But he was not convicted of the rape, and he wasn't technically associated with that. I don't know.
But wow, Lori could actually
But I feel like if
testify
he had
about that.
if he had a gun, why didn't he kill Gary? You know? He had 9 shots on one man. Why didn't you kill Gary?
You're right. Don't you think they were probably messed up on drugs that night? Because that's what
Probably.
I've always heard. That
Probably.
they all
I
did
hope
drugs
so.
together. That the 4 of them got there to collect, but all sat there and did drugs together.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, I would think so.
yeah.
I would think
You would
so.
hope so.
Right.
I would hope
Right.
so. I mean, and that's at least the story I've told myself all these years.
Yes. That's
Right.
what we're going
Right.
with.
Yeah.
But
Not that it really makes it that much better, but
no, but it's just easier to live with a little bit.
yeah.
But, again, I've never been in a situation like that, and I truly pray to God that I never have to defend myself in such a way.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Kylie, and say I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that.
I hope not. Steering clear of Moss Point, but
So,
still.
all right, so
Still.
so all this happens, and Genny, your dad decides this would be a great idea if we just get this house and sell it.
Dad
goodness.
wasn't looking to buy the house.
Okay, gotcha.
So Dad likes doing favors for banks and people in town.
Okay.
So he likes feeling like you owe me one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
as long as
Yeah.
you make it financially appealing to me, then I'll take care of it. Because here's the situation, y'all. Every house will sell. It doesn't matter what's
Yeah.
happened there. Every single house will sell. So, and Dad knows that.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that he ended up selling it is, again, he did a little bit of work to it. They made him a situation, a deal that he couldn't say no to.
Right.
And he owner financed it to the next person. And the guy who bought it was actually a pretty sweet soul, but they had like 9 or 12 dogs living inside the house with them.
That's a lot.
A lot.
Oof.
A lot.
Oof. I'm not
So,
a pet person. That's a lot. It makes me cringe.
so it took a little bit to sell because everybody
Yeah,
knew what I mean, we didn't even have to disclose. People just knew. People just knew.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
man didn't really know. We did disclose to him, and very sweet man. He came in to make his payments to Dad every month, and Jacob was a newborn. And Jacob was born in 99, and he loved Jacob. And Jacob would be on a blanket, and he would go to pick him up, and he would always be covered in fleas.
Oh.
Like covered in fleas. And I would just like swoop in, pick him up, and like, he's not feeling well today.
Oh, you mean the man would be covered in fleas?
Yes.
Not Jacob.
The
Okay.
man was covered
Trying
in
to
fleas.
stop
Get that.
Jacob from becoming covered in
Get that
fleas.
straight there.
Sorry, thank you for clarifying.
Yes, but still.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that man loved that house. He was so happy with it. And so we had a hurricane that happened. It happens all the time there. And in Alabama, they let, because we're right there by the Alabama line, they let one of the dams loose and let all the water come in. Well, the house flooded at the time. And how do you get all the dogs out? So they came to rescue him,
Okay.
and they wouldn't take all of his dogs.
Oh, why not? Is there like a
Because
limit?
you're in a hurry, and you're trying to get all the
Oh.
people out.
Okay.
And so...
I bet PETA loves that.
Yeah, it was a really big deal. It was a
Yeah,
really big deal
yeah.
about how I think he stayed there somehow because they wouldn't take all the dogs. Anyway, there was a big story there, and y'all, this was so long ago, but I do remember that part of it. And he was fine, and he had to end up fixing the house back up because when water gets in a house, there's all kinds of damage that happens with that.
Did the fleas survive?
I hope they did not.
Yeah. Oh. So, random question I have, like, at this point, when the house sold, at that point do you have to do a home inspection? And did that come back
Good question.
clear?
We didn't do home inspections then.
Okay.
So,
Because I know sometimes you don't have to do them now, you know.
Right, you
so
don't
it's
have
kind
to.
of optional.
right, but it's customary now
Right,
to do it on
right.
every single house. Then, normally, people worked at the shipyard, and they would trust whoever worked at the shipyard for whatever reason to check their house out.
Just some side money. Just come in and look at the electrical and it'll be okay.
It was mostly, Daddy works at the yard,
Yeah.
he's going to check it out. Uncle works at the yard, he's going to check it out. This guy,
Okay.
he was like, I went by there and I love it. Because when Dad owns something, Dad is so casual. Dad's like, here's the key, you go look at it, let me know if you like
Have
it.
squatters living in there or
Exactly.
something.
And
Oh, my
these are the
goodness.
terms that we can work out for you. You're going to have to, and he'd always have, you got to put this much money down. So we actually had a ton of people interested in it,
Yeah.
but couldn't meet all the other criteria.
Yeah.
After we got through that initial phase of, is that the hanging up?
Yeah.
We had a lot of people want to move forward with it, but this guy was the only person that qualified.
Okay.
And he loved it. He loved
Okay.
it, and he was
Well,
always
good.
he came by the
Good.
office every month to make his payments
Yeah.
because that's how it was. And then
Yeah. I remember having to do that. The first car that I bought, like I had to go in person to the bank and like make my payment. There was no auto draft.
Right, right.
No, but
things sure have changed technology wise.
Yes. So, are there any particular documents in closing that you have to have then or now because it was a crime scene?
I know that Dad didn't have any at that time. He probably should have, like, about this, you know,
Right,
et cetera,
right.
but no, he didn't. And he also set things up, like if somebody missed a payment or whatnot, that he could sell it again to somebody else. I mean, this is how he sold houses all the time.
Okay.
And so I wasn't involved in the actual sale. I just was involved in the selling of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The promotion, the selling of it, all the conversations surrounding it. And then when the man came in to buy it, I'm like, let me introduce you to my dad.
Yeah.
Because this was one.
Yeah.
I got my license in 97.
Yeah.
All right. So I got my license in 97. I was like,
You were fresh.
let me let you talk to my dad.
So Jenny, from a marketing standpoint,
Yeah.
how the heck did you market this house?
I know. Well, when you've got the right terms.
Yeah, I got you. It sells itself.
Exactly.
Wow.
It does. But again, I've sold several houses like this, and we'll talk about this over our next couple episodes. There's each episode is going to have its own little story. But there are people that really get excited about sharing that story. Like, that guy probably told that story a million times to people that came by to visit.
Yeah.
And it's
a
something
trophy.
that drives a lot of people to buy properties like this. I mean, they tore down like the Nicole Simpson house in LA. They tore it down, but it would have sold for a lot of money
Yes.
because
Absolutely.
people would have loved to have told the story.
Like you said, you can sell any house.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah, and people would say, "Oh, this is where OJ came in." I mean, allegedly.
Right. He did not put the glove on right over here. Like,
yes. So I mean, it's we are all so crazy as humans, right? We are all so crazy as humans, and
for sure.
this story is super interesting. It's always been, gosh, I mean, part of my story since right after getting my real estate license, and just knowing and having confidence that every house will sell no matter what has happened in that space. Now, was there anything that Dad did, to clear the energy out or to, no, he did nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
There have been other houses that Yes, we have had, and we'll talk about some of those steps that people have made to clear the energy out of their homes, as far as blessings, as far as priests coming in, as far as rituals, because there are lots of things that happen in homes, and wow, this is a scary one. Oh, but we can't leave, though, without talking about his execution.
Okay.
We got to talk about that.
So I'm going to do like a quick, let's leave it on like a higher note, a little bit.
Well, that won't be hard.
Yeah, that's true.
We've been down in the bayou so far.
Yeah, really get into the dark side of this.
Yes.
But Brooke was clearly, she escaped. She was clearly the witness. They didn't deny anything, but she still had to go to court and deal with all of it. She said that when she saw Gary, that she was shaking so bad, and she was, like 19, 20 at the time, because by the time, you get arrested and then go to trial, that's a long process. She was shaking so bad, and she was so embarrassed, she sat on her hands because she was trying not to shake, but then her body started shaking, and she, so it was just pretty cut and dry, like, he did this, but it's almost like a formality at this point. Like, we have to have all this on the record. This is what we're doing. But after he was arrested initially, between arrest and trial, he had a hit put on her from jail.
Oh, my heavens. You know what?
Because she was the only witness.
I remember this now.
Wow.
I remember this now. I had forgotten
She's
about
like
that.
18, 19 years old, and someone tried to murder her again.
That precious soul.
Yes. So once he was sentenced to death in the state of Mississippi, she was truly scared for her life. She's like, he's already had a hit out on me once from jail. So she was scared.
I don't blame her.
She's in her 40s now, but she was scared. Every year, like clockwork, she would change her full identity because the state wouldn't give her witness protection. So she physically changed her identity. And she would just move to a new city, change her hair color, haircut, hairstyle,
my heart.
Because she was afraid someone was going to find her. And the state didn't give her witness protection. I don't know the laws and bylaws about that. But think about this as a female, maybe not even as a female, just a human. She was so scared, and in her mind, rightfully, though, she made things a lot worse than they were about Lori, his estranged wife, and their children. She said, even if he doesn't put a hit on me from jail, she's like, I took their dad away. I took that husband away. I took him.
All that guilt she's feeling for.
And she was afraid.
She did nothing.
She was afraid the kids were going to come after her. She was afraid that Lori was going to come after her. She did an interview in 2023 and found out in the interview Lori had been looking for her for years and wanted to thank her. She said, I'm sorry you had to go through what you had to go through, but you saved who knows how many lives. And we pray for you in my home every day, and we thank God for you every day. And we are so sorry that you had to go through what you had to go through, but we thank God for you and your strength and your ability to get out. And the interview with those two meeting is just, it's chilling. And they're both crying, and she was like, I never thought about it. Brooke said to Lori, I never thought about it that way. I just assumed you would hate me because I took the father of your children away. She's like, no, you did the world a favor.
Yes.
I got away from him. You got away from him. If it wouldn't have been you, it would have been somebody else.
Right, it would have been.
Hi, Brooke. Hi, I'm Lori. I'm Brooke. Can I hug you? Sure. It's very nice to meet you. Is this so crazy? It's crazy. You want to come in? Sure. Okay. I owe you a debt of gratitude. You are my hero. You might not believe that, but you are. And we have thanked God for you every day since you've escaped. I have 4 children who are grown because of you. I am here today because of you.
I never looked at it that way.
You kind of make it okay now.
And so now they are on great terms. The children, speak to Brooke. Lori speaks to Brooke. Brooke has a wonderful, wonderful testimony. And she, says now
And she should, because
yes,
God, all of this was God got her out of that trunk.
That's right. And, she said, I'm no longer a victim. I'm a survivor.
Yes, she is.
And because not many people can say they survived something that horrific.
No.
But every year, like, she changed who she was. She was living in fear every year, every minute of her life.
I just hate
living
that part
in
of the
fear.
story, I really
Yes.
hate that part.
But I love that Brooke and Lori came together and looked each other in the eyes, and there was just forgiveness. There was no guilt. There was no shame. They had a connection that not many people can have.
Right. Their purposes were aligned.
Yes. And I truly believe, I know that what we talk about in this podcast will be very dark, and it will be very heavy, and it's extremely evil. And I know that we're going to laugh and cut up about it, but at the same time, it's evil. I don't care if drugs are involved or not, mental status, it doesn't matter. It's wrong.
It is.
And it's not a laughing matter, but as a Christian, I do believe that God takes what the enemy means for evil and he turns it for good.
Amen.
And this was clearly an evil situation, but God was able to prevail, and he made the women in this situation, the kids in the situation, like they were made conquerors. And he has taken what the enemy meant for evil and he turned it for good. And he has turned their testimony into a huge platform, and then a platform for others to take on. Because this story you can Google it. It's everywhere, but even for us to take on and to share, that's
right.
that's a big deal. Not everybody has that light at the end of the tunnel. Most people don't.
Agreed.
And I just think that it is amazing that they were able to have not necessarily a happy ending, but this ending.
Right.
They choose. They make it happy. They choose to be happy. They choose to be prosperous and to move forward.
Well, when you can see God in a situation as dark as this, that's where the blessing is.
That's right.
Because he was there.
Yes.
He is there.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
The part that not only did she go through this, but having to be scared all those years, and just knowing that they had a reunion, that's good.
Yes. Yes.
So
I completely agree.
One last thing about it is, oh my God, the meal. The execution meal. We've got to talk about it. Here I am laughing about it.
It's lunchtime, but let's do it. Okay, I'm going to pull it up just so we can have it. I have never in my life...
that man was going out with a bang.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so... I don't know if I'm even allowed to bring up other things, so whatever. I love 1,000-Pound Sisters and my 600-pound life. I love it. Okay,
I haven't watched it.
Oh, you're missing out. It's about some fat
I feel
girls
like
from
I should
Kentucky.
be starring on it. That's why.
Oh no, gosh! But even 1,000-Pound Sisters or my 600-pound life, they'll be like, oh, all I had for lunch was a cheeseburger. I don't know. And they literally will order 17 cheeseburgers. It's like, I had a cheeseburger. Yeah, plus 16 more. My goodness, Tammy. Stop, God, Peggy. You had a lot more than a cheeseburger.
I'm on a 3-day fast right now, and I'm starving thinking about, 17 cheeseburgers would be so good.
Listen, I'm not on a 3-day fast, and I'm still starving, and I'm going to... It's lunchtime. But as I think it's every state that has the death penalty, the prisoners get a last meal. And from what I understand, you can pretty much just get anything and everything that you want. I mean, you name it, they give it to you. And I'm just going to throw my opinion out there. I don't like it. You're telling me they get whatever they want to eat, and then it's they committed this horrific crime? No. Make them go hungry. Right. No. But I understand it's a thing. I totally get it.
But he went all out. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
he did.
the state of Mississippi, tax dollars went toward a huge.
I mean, what an average meal, I think if you're on a diet, it's what, like 1,200 calorie, 1,800?
Like for the day.
For the
a
day,
man.
yes,
Yeah.
sorry. 1,200, 1,800. This one meal was almost 30,000 calories.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
He was ordering it all. He was.
I mean,
That
I don't
was
know if
his
he
way of
ate
celebrating.
it. I don't know if he ate it all.
He was trying to kill himself before they could kill him.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
no
was. He was, especially with the combo of some of this stuff. I'm like, that, you know, and he'd been eating prison food for years. There's no telling what that.
I know, right?
So why don't you name off
Was
what
he in
all-
Parchman
I don't know.
in Mississippi? It's a prison. But,
I'm not sure. But he had one Pizza Hut Super Supreme Pizza with tomato sauce, mushrooms, onions, jalapenos, and pepperoni. So a Supreme Pizza from Pizza Hut.
I will have to say, okay, Pizza Hut ruled the area.
Oh.
So I can, and you know
Oh, yeah.
what we
yeah.
always eat. He ordered ranch dressing, which I mean, he should be ashamed of himself because not only for what he's done, but to order ranch dressing because in that area we use Catalina French dressing
Yes.
with Pizza
Yes.
Hut. I mean, who is he?
But, I mean, in the South, everything goes with ranch.
Yeah.
Everything goes with
I know
ranch. But no, we
everywhere
did
else
French.
is ranch.
Yes,
but
I
you
love
know.
me some French. I still do. Put it on my salads and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So he had that Supreme Pizza from Pizza Hut, but then he had another pizza with 3 different cheeses, olives, bell peppers, tomato, garlic, and Italian sausage. So, 2 pizzas there. Then he had 10 8-ounce packets of Parmesan cheese.
You got to dress that pizza up.
But 8 ounces, like, because like when you get a pizza now, like they have the little containers that come in the box. Mm-hmm. How many ounces is that? Like, did he just have 10 of those that he was just like chugging back? Or is it like like when you go to the grocery store and there's like shredded Parmesan like in the bag, like that's about 8 ounces.
Yeah, that seems.
So I think it's more like the grocery store size with like, the little zipper top thing. He had 10 8-ounce packs of Parmesan. Then he had 10 8-ounce packs of ranch dressing.
How could you even eat all that?
80 ounces of ranch dressing.
This sounds like though a typical Pascagoula meal. as we keep going
Oh my
on.
goodness, 80 ounces. I think that's more than like a whole bottle of ranch.
Wow.
I think, in my head. I don't know.
Be drowning in ranch.
Yes. Then one 16-ounce family-sized bag of Dorito nacho cheese.
I mean, of course.
Chips. So just regular Doritos. Just the regular red bag. Okay, I do love some Doritos.
I do too.
Okay, all right. Then 8 ounces of jalapeno nacho cheese. So who's really into the cheese? the Dorito cheese, the Parmesan cheese, the 3-cheese pizza, really into the cheese. Then he had 4 ounces of sliced jalapeno peppers, along with the jalapeno nacho cheese. Then he had 2 large strawberry milkshakes.
How could you fit that down?
Then he had 2 20-ounce cherry Cokes. Then he had a supersized order of McDonald's French fries with extra ketchup and mayonnaise.
That's what I'm telling you. Like,
There's no way he was able to actually
And
eat this.
then he had
and
2 pints of strawberry ice cream. And this came from ABC News. So I think it's real.
how,
I mean, the shocking part to me is not he chopped a body up. I believe there's evil out there. There's evil out there. He was under the influence of drugs. I believe that happened. But this was unbelievable to me. But it's
Right.
on ABC News, so it's okay.
it is unbelievable.
Goodness.
I mean, how many hours did it take to eat that?
I don't know. And it doesn't say that he consumed all of it, but it's so specific. It's not like he just wanted a pizza and like a milkshake
Well, I can just see
with some ranch.
You know,
I
like,
bet he did though.
right, me thinking about Lent coming up, you know, and I've been totally changing my diet months and months and months ago. So me and my former self, I could be right now like, I really want a bag of Oreos.
Right.
I need a big family-sized bag of pizza rolls. My menu would be very similar.
I mean, it's like going to the grocery store hungry.
Yes.
You pile the things in, but you don't
do.
actually go eat it all.
Right. Not in one
Hopefully.
sitting.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You at least keep it at home for a week in your pantry, you know, and you nibble slowly. But, I mean,
I would love to see if they had that on video.
oh, goodness.
Oh, wow. Well, we just completed our first episode,
Yes, we
right?
did.
You know, and I hope
fun.
you enjoyed this story because, I mean, it really is bizarre, right on down to the menu, the last menu. It probably is, to me, the most outrageous of all of them. So I kind of wanted to start with the most outrageous.
Yeah.
Right? So definitely, you know, download our podcast and keep up with it because we're going to be bringing you episodes every week about bizarre stories that have to do with, you know, fraud. There's so much fraud going on right now and scams with real estate, people trying to buy and sell. Agent safety issues. When I said there are perverts out there that target real estate agents, there are some serious perverts out there. We're going to dish it all out here on this Dirty Deeds, the dark side of real estate. You're going to hear some things that might make you laugh. We cried in this one and laughed in this one.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it's always shocking to hear, like what you said, that evil that is out there. But we're just so blessed to have the covering of Jesus and how He is with us. And even though we talk about some of these dark things, we feel confident that that protection is with us throughout as we reveal some of these stories to you. And stigmatized properties, we're going to be talking about demons that have been in properties that I've sold, and you know how we fought and conquered those, and just all kinds of crazy things that happen behind the scenes in real estate. So thanks for joining us today. I'm Genny Williams.
I'm Kylie Moberg.
And we'll see you next time on the dark side of real estate.
Dirty deeds in real estate. Hidden lies behind the gate. Big money, broken dreams. Nothing's ever what it seems. Oh yeah. The dark side of real estate. The dark side of real estate.
Genny Williams is a licensed real estate agent with eXp Realty. The opinions and views expressed on Dirty Deeds in Real Estate are solely her own and do not reflect the views, policies, or positions of eXp Realty or its affiliates.